Yo everyone, Shockz16 back once again for the Renegade Master. So then, let's crack on and get the last of these Q&A questions out of the way, shall we? Because yeah, this is the third and final part, social media edition. So I'm going to be taking questions from YouTube, WhatsApp and Facebook. There we go. So with the trusty laptop in hand, we'll take our first questions from YouTube. And we're going straight in with Shenmuzo, who says, very nice job on the PlayStation, it looks ace. If you don't know what he's on about, basically I custom sprayed a PlayStation 1 and called it Project Stealth, but it's currently under phase 2 now, so yeah, it's all in bits again now because I wasn't really happy with the finish on it. So there we go. Anyway, his first question is, are you psyched about VR and do you plan on getting any of the forthcoming headsets? So as VR stands at the minute, I can't say that it's really grabbed me as a thing that I need. It's not something that I'm excited about, no, I can't say that at all. I do like to try new technologies and stuff like that, so eventually I will probably try it, and I probably will end up with one of the headsets, but I don't plan on getting any of them. It's just one of those things that, you know, in the future, when they come down in price and stuff, you know, it might be a little bit of an impulse buy or something like that, or, you know, if they kind of revolutionise gaming, like if VR is the next big thing, if it's not just like a 2-minute gimmick, kind of like 3D, do you know what I mean? Where, yeah, you like 3D, it enhances play like some fun when you're playing games, I suppose, but ultimately, after you've had a bit of an experience with it, you just want to go back and play games as you used to playing them. So yeah, if VR isn't just kind of like that for me, like I say, I've not actually been on VR at the minute, so I might be totally blown away by it and be like, wow, I need to get one of these now once I've been on it, but at the minute I haven't, and at the minute it's not really grabbing me as a thing. But it is an intriguing thing. I would like to experience it at least, and like I say, if it does revolutionise gaming on the whole and like VR headsets and stuff start becoming like an essential with consoles, then yeah, I suppose somewhere down the line I will end up with one and I probably will enjoy it as well. But at the minute, as it stands, I can't really say I'm excited about VR. Yeah, it's not really a thing for me. I don't really give a shit about it, to be honest with you. And his second question is, best gig you ever went to? Well, this is something that's probably really going to upset you, Ben, but I don't really go to many gigs. I haven't really been to many gigs, should I say, and I don't really plan on going to many gigs. It's not really a thing for me. I'd rather watch it on TV. I'm one of those kind of people, do you know what I mean? I know you're like big into your Glastonbury and stuff like that, but when it comes to Glastonbury and stuff like that, for me, I'm one of those who kind of likes watching it on TV, do you know what I mean? You've got the best seat in the arse. You're not camping and stuff like that. You're warm, you've got food, you've got a fridge, you've got a cooker. Do you know what I mean? You've got everything you need and you're watching it from the best seat in the house, basically, aren't you? So, yeah. But I know that I'm missing out on the atmosphere. It's all about the atmosphere in it, gigs and stuff like that. So, yeah, I haven't really been to many, but I used to, you'll know actually as well because you're from around here, but Woollerton Park, they have a festival on now. I can't remember what it's called now. I know it's changed the name of it. It used to be called Party in the Park, but I think they changed it because Party in the Park is like a bigger event now, isn't it, somewhere else? So they've changed it to somewhere else, to something else. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's at Woollerton Park. They have it like kind of every summertime, and it's kind of like, I think it's got something to do, or it used to have something to do with Trent FM and stuff like that, and you used to just get like a mix of like various kind of up and coming stars and stuff like that. So like the one that I remembered most going to was, I think it was in '98, and it had people like Five, Steps, DJ Quicksilver and stuff like that. It was just a proper mix of music and it was great though. Do you know what I mean? Some of the artists, yeah, it was proper cheesy bands and stuff like that, but it had a nice atmosphere, do you know what I mean? Bit of a bifter on the go, a few cans, do you know what I mean? The atmosphere and vibing was there, so I kind of get what you get out of going to festivals and stuff like that. But yeah, as actual dedicated gig to a certain person, yeah, I haven't really been to that many, but one that does really stick out to me was when, God man, this would probably be about 10 years ago now, Jesus Christ, and that's when I went to like a student gig, and it was for Plan B, you know, the British Plan B rapper, who's now a singer. So yeah, this was back when he was back before he started singing, because like he does, what does he do? Is it kind of blues soul music now, I bet? when he was a rapper anyway. So yeah, if you've not checked out his earlier stuff, go check it out, because his first kind of like rap albums was really good. So yeah, we went to see Plan B anyway, a student kind of gig thing, and the atmosphere in there is absolutely buzzing. It was mental, and he was just really good on stage. He just like owned the show, and his support acts was Professor Green, Pro Green, and Example. That's right, because Pro Green, he still does do rap, don't he? Example, he kind of does like electronic music now, don't he? But he used to be a rapper too, so it was like all of them three, and it was before they kind of got big. It was like just at that stage before they hit fame. So yeah, you got to like hang out with them after the gig and stuff like that, and they did like album signings and stuff like that. So I've got like an album signed by Pro Green and Example and stuff like that, and Plan B. I've got to say though, out of all three of them, Plan B I thought was a little bit of a dickhead. It's like he didn't really want to be there talking to his fans and stuff like that, so whatever. Whereas Pro Green was having a laugh, and Example was having like a laugh and taking photos with everybody and everything like that. So yeah, but that was probably like the best gig I've ever been to, really. I know it's like not a major thing, but yeah, there you go. So the next set of questions come from Lawn Boys Post 1975, the home of Dave. So his first question is, how many beanies do you actually own? I answered this on my last video, so, you know, go across and watch that one. I'll link you. I'll put a link up here to it, so you can go across and watch it. I don't know about the timestamps, whatever. Just watch it all. There you go. The second question is, I think this has been misspelt, but I think it's supposed to say, where is the bird this feather came from? Now, I'm not sure. That sounds like it's a reference to something that I probably should know. Like maybe it's a private joke we've shared in the past. Maybe it's something like a game or show that I've talked about in the past, but it's like my mind's just gone blank on it, and I don't understand what that question means, mate. You're gonna have to explain it to me. I have a feeling it's something that we've probably had a laugh or a joke about before, or you've mentioned it to me probably before in the past or something like that. But yeah, I don't really get that question, mate, so I can't answer it. And his last question is, smoked or unsmoked bacon? And congrats on YouTube of the month. That's how long ago these questions was asked. But yeah, thanks anyway. But yeah, smoked or unsmoked bacon, it depends what it's in, really. If I'm having just a bacon sandwich or having it on like a cooked breakfast, then unsmoked. If I'm putting it in something like a pasta, yeah, like a pasta or something like that, or potato bake or something like that, I might go for the smoked, you know, just to give it like a little bit of extra taste. So yeah, both. I'll go for both, depending on what it is I'm eating at the time. So our next question comes from OddPod. He says, congrats on 700 subs. Thanks a lot, mate. And he says, my question is, once you have completed your Saturn collection, do you plan on getting a full collection of anything else? Keep up the good work. Thanks very much, I will. As for a full set collection, no. Simple answer, no. I only wanted to do it for the Saturn. That was all I ever planned to do it on, and that's all I ever will plan to do it on, unless I come into a lot of money, and then it might change my mind, because the only other system that I would really want a full set of is Super Nintendo. But Super Nintendo games, PAL Super Nintendos especially, are just insanely priced. Some of the games that I want or would like are just, yeah, I just look at the money and I just think, nah. Do you know what I mean? I'm planning on going Everdrive on the SNES. I know some people, I can already hear you going, ooh. But I plan on going Everdrive on the SNES and the Mega Drive. So I suppose you could class that as a full collection, because you get a full collection on the Everdrive, can't you? So yeah, but no. But yeah, as a physical full set again, then no, it's just something that I will never do. It's, yeah, I've done it once and I don't plan on doing it again. So the next set of questions come from Rasmus or Raz-ma-taz. So yeah, you might know Raz from TAT Vlogs, TAT Vlogs, this and that Vlogs as well. So you know, just a little bit of a shout out there for him as well. If you've not checked that out, go check it out. But anyway, his first question is, where you been in Europe? I was born in England, so I've been here. Wales, Spain and Greece. That's it. I've been to those countries. Like, I've been to Spain no end of time. Like I must have like covered the whole of Spain in my life. I've been there that many times, just different parts every time. And yeah, Greece I've been twice, I think. So yeah, And soon, in a few months, is it a few months or a month or so like that, then I will soon be in your sexy country, which leads on to your next question, which is, what is your knowledge of my sexy country? What is my knowledge of your sexy country? Well, that would have to be IKEA, Centival Gold Butter, and Orica. So the next set of questions come from Scott, Sega Saturn lad, and he says, when do you see an end to the collecting? As soon as I've got everything I want, mate, basically. Yeah, I don't really collect just for the fun of it no more. Do you know what I mean? I used to, when I first started collecting, I would just buy everything that caught my eye that I thought looked cool, and I'd be like, yeah, I need that. But now it's mainly just about the nostalgia and stuff that I've really always wanted for a long time. So yeah, most of it is going to be just stuff that I had as a kid from now on, and yeah, and like I say, just a few other objects that I really want. So yeah, and as soon as I get that, or if I run out of space before I get that, then that's when the collecting will end for me. I'm not just going to collect for the sake of collecting, just to say, hey, I'm a collector, so let's collect some stuff. It's not how I am. I've always been a collector of things though. So yeah, but yeah, with gaming, there is an end to it, basically. I do see an end to it, because once I've got everything, that's it. That's when it will end, which will probably be, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'll probably fall out of love with gaming or die before I actually get everything I want. So there you go. It probably is a hobby for life, really, but that's when it will stop. Do you know what I mean? When I have everything I want. Second question, what are your other hobbies, passions away from YouTube and gaming? So yeah, one of my other big passions, as other YouTubers that I've talked to know, like a few of you actually do know this, and that is movies. I'm quite a big movie buff. I really like my movies and stuff like that. I don't really have a big movie collection anymore, but you can find that on things like movie streaming, you know, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Kodi. But yeah, stuff like that. So I don't really need a big collection anymore due to streaming services. But yeah, I do have quite a large DVD collection, but it's not as big as it used to be. I tell you what I really like. I have a thing for VHS cassettes, even though I don't collect them anymore. Basically, put it this way, if I lived in a bigger place and I had another room for another collection, it would be VHS videos. There's something magical about watching an old 80s movie or 90s movie on an old CRT TV on a VHS. There's just something more magical about it than it is buying it on Blu-ray or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I love VHS. So yeah, if I could have another collection, that's what I would have. Yeah, I'd just have a mental movie room and stuff like that. Another one of my hobbies and interests is architecture and construction and stuff like that. I know that might seem a little bit boring to other people, like what the fuck is that? But yeah, to me, I just like if I look at a house or something like that, I'm looking deeper into it. I'm looking at how it's being constructed. That's not even a word. Constructed and designed and stuff like that. And I have yeah, a really big interest in, you know, like these programs like Grand Designs, where these people take on these big build projects and they're like just gonna do something mental, build a house, like just with some weird architectural designs in it, all just built from the ground, from nothing and stuff like that. Or they're gonna renovate a barn or something like that. And I just find that stuff so interesting. So yeah, that's another kind of weird interest of mine. Back in the day, a few years back, I was really big into the Japanese car scene and stuff like that. I actually had another channel where I've got some early videos on from when I went to car shows, like I went to the UK drift championships and stuff like that. But I kind of moved away from cars and stuff like that. But yeah, at one time of day I was into the Japanese car scene. But yeah, that's a thing of the past now. So there you go. They're my other interests. So our next set of questions come from Facebook. And our first question on Facebook comes from Monkey Spaz. And he says, who is the Renegade Master? I am the Renegade Master, that's right. Back when I was working for the government, taking out international spies, my code name was a Renegade. And I was that good at it, I became a master, so I mashed the two together, Renegade Master. Our next question comes from Brad, aka ProBman5. He says, when do you find the time to game? When I'm not working, basically. That's it, when I have time off work. Second question, do you ever plan on getting married and settling down? No. Like, seriously, no. I won't ever rule it out. Do you know what I mean? I've been engaged a couple of times before. But yeah, never got to the marriage part of it. But no, I don't plan on stuff like that. For me, it's just one of those things. If it happens, it happens. I don't rule it out. But yeah, I don't really care about it either. If it never happens, I'm still going to be as happy as I am now. I don't really give a shit. So no, I don't plan on that. Next set of questions come from Dave, Infected Flinch. And his first question is, have you ever attempted to hump a hedgehog? Attempted? Succeeded, mate. It was so worth the trip to the A&E to get those spikes removed from my ballsack, mate. Hedgehogs, freaky in the sight. Do you know what I mean? Freaky, mate. Second question. What is the best fighting game that made you jizz? Super Street Fighter 2. If I ever want to jizz while having a fight, that's the game I'll put on. I recommend it to anybody who just fancies jizzing a little bit. Third question, is your hat part of your head? No, it's a removable accessory sold with each Shockz. And his last question is, I asked a fourth question, but is it really a question? Fuck off, Dave. Just fuck off. So the next set of questions come from Stephen, aka Mr. Retro Unlim himself. And his first question is, if you could be another YT retro gamer, that's YouTube retro gamer, just in case you didn't know what YT stood for one day, who would it be and what would you post on their channel? I would be Ninja Bear Hug and I would post the continuation of that fucking Supergun project. How dare you? How dare you start that project and not finish it for us? I was loving that. No, same as the SMS quest. I'll continue that as well. No, how dare you cancel your channel on us? Rah. Second question. What do you think of men without hats and can you do the safety dance? You can dance if you want to. No, I cannot do the safety dance, so you can fuck off. And what do I think of men without hats? I think they're shady fuckers, basically. You can tell a lot about a person from the hats he wears. So if you don't wear a hat, then he's just a shady, untrustworthy fucker, if you ask me. And his last question is, you lost a bet and had to spend a night in Burhan's tent with him. What 3 things would you take with you? I would take a shotgun, a shovel, and a book titled 101 Places to Hide a Body in the UK where it will never be found. Now the next set of questions come from TGA Pulius. His first question, during your Saturn collecting, what's been a game that you splurged for but regretted after you started playing it? For me, it was Burning Rages. I started wincing almost immediately. Now that's funny because I don't mind Burning Rages. I think Burning Rages is quite an alright game, but then again, I didn't pay over the odds for it. I know it goes for quite a bit of money now, which is actually really surprising, but back when I got it in a bundle of games, and it cost me fuck all, almost like literally nothing. Yeah, compared to what it goes for now, it's like scary how much that game goes for now. I don't know how much it goes for in your territory, but in PAL it does go for a lot of money over here as well, so yeah. But for me, it would probably be probably Courier Crisis. That game is fucking shocking. It's just cack. It's one of the most expensive games on the PAL list, and yeah, anybody who's ever played that game will tell you that it's shit. If you really need to play it on the PlayStation. So yeah, it will be Courier Crisis. Question number 2. Ever ran into any problems with other people while filming outside? To be honest with you, no, not at all. I've had 1 or 2 people look at me funny, as you do, like, what's this twat doing? He's filming himself. But at the end of the day, it's 2017 now. People should kind of know, if you see somebody filming, it's more than likely they've got a YouTube channel or some kind of vlogger or something. Do you know what I mean? It's more or less going to be like that. Then again, I see people chatting on their phones, you know, like in video calls and stuff like that. And is it doing that Snapchat or whatever it is nowadays? So talking to yourself on on your phone nowadays probably doesn't look as mental as it used to a few years back. But yeah, I've never really run into any problems. I kind of pick locations where there isn't a shitload of people anyway, and I'm quite good at covertly filming as well, so there you go. Number 3, what's up with the Sunday stroll? Ask Dan. Honestly, go over to Clottal Vids and ask the same question to Dan. He's the man that runs the Sunday stroll, we're just along for the ride. Ask him. Right, so the next lot of questions come from WhatsApp, and our first set of questions come from none other than Adam, 16-bit Brit. His first question is, favourite soundtrack to a Saturn game? That's quite easy for me. That would have to be Sonic R. The soundtrack on that is so 90s, so cheesy, but yet so catchy. It's just brilliant. Everything about it is brilliant. The game is not so hot. The game is kind of shit, really. It gets better if you know how to play it, which makes me sound like I'm talking down to people, but no, there is actually a knack to playing that game. But yeah, the soundtrack on it is unbelievable. If you've never heard the soundtrack to Sonic R, after you finish watching this Q&A, just type in Sonic R soundtrack, listen to some of the tracks. They are cheesy as hell, but they are so of their time, so 90s, so nostalgic. You can't help but smile and enjoy them tracks. I'm sorry, you just can't. So his second question is, where do you think you'll focus your collection efforts once the Saturn set is complete? Well, I've already answered this, and I think both of the other parts of the Q&A now, but it's mostly going to be nostalgia driven now, so it's going to be PlayStation 1, as that's kind of the other system that I've really got my heart set on, of getting some games back from my childhood. In fact, the PlayStation 1 is probably, apart and the PlayStation 2, they are the only two consoles that I still have my original games from back in the day. So yeah, a lot of my collection is still there, but because a lot of my other collection was on backup discs back in the day, you know, everybody had a chipped console back in the day. Yeah, that is basically the next thing I'm focusing on, is the PlayStation 1, or the PlayStation. The PlayStation, let's just call it the PlayStation, because the PS1 is a totally different console, isn't it? But yeah. So his last question is, 3 PlayStation exclusives you wish had made it to the Saturn as exclusives instead. That is put, give reasons why, read the last question. So, this is quite easy actually. The games that I wish would have been Saturn exclusives are Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, and Tekken. And why? Because those to me were the system sellers. If the PlayStation didn't have those games to entice me with back in the day, then I think I would have probably stuck with the Saturn more. Do you know what I mean? If those games had come out on the Saturn instead of the PlayStation, then I don't think I would have been I don't think I would have jumped ship to the PlayStation as early as I did, because those games coming out would have like made me want to hang on to that system for a bit more. So yeah, they're the 3 games that I pick. So the next question comes from Nintendo Dave, and he says, okay, how about name a Saturn game that was so hyped up by your friends and or advertisements that once you got it and played it, thought it was rubbish, and vice versa. A game that was not advertised or no one knew or had, and that you got and was amazed by how good it was. So yeah, the game that was advertised and talked about and hyped up that I thought was quite rubbish is, and this is going to upset a lot of people, Daytona USA. It is a classic game, no denying it. I love that game, but for all the wrong reasons. It's just nostalgia for me. The nostalgia about it, like where I was at the time, the things I was doing at the time, that's everything I love about Daytona. The actual game, I think, is kind of rubbish. It's NASCAR, isn't it? And sorry, Americans, but you're just a car, you go round and round. It's kind of boring. As racing games go, I don't think it's all that exciting. Do you know what I mean? I like having a little blast on it and stuff like that, just for old time's sake. But for me, I don't really get the fuss about it. It's a bit of shit compared to other racing games. Do you know what I mean? Play Sega Rally instead. A lot better. And then vice versa, a game that was not advertised and no one knew about, but I was amazed by how good it was back in the day, and that for me would be Clockwork Knight. Yeah, that's just a game that I saw in the shop once back in the day, and I thought, that looks good, I'll buy that. and I got it home and I was quite amazed by how good it was. I weren't expecting much from it because I don't think it was a lot of money at the time when I bought it. I think it might have been like reduced or something like that, so I thought, well, this is probably a shit game, that's why it's reduced. But yeah, I got it home. It was quite a good platform game. I don't know how well it holds up now because I can't say that I've played it since then, but I can just remember it being really good. I can remember my friends coming around and being like, what's this? I was like, just put it on and have a go at it. So yeah, it's like a 3D kind of sprite platformer game and stuff like that. Like games nowadays, that's what I like about this game as well. So it's a game of its time, innit? I was like big into platformers and stuff like that in the 90s, whereas now games are kind of all like realism and storyline. You got to properly immerse yourself into it. It's all about the immersion, innit? Where is that it's just a nice, fun, quirky game. You play as a fucking wind-up knight, for fuck's sakes, do you know what I mean? But it's just good platform, just a simple, nice platformer game. And yeah, it plays nice, or it did play nice. Like I say, I've not played it since, so it might be shit now, but that was the game that kind of amazed me back in the day. So our final set of questions come from none other than Chris Novabug. And he says, okay, when did the love of beanies start? When I lost my hair, basically. You know what I mean? When you lose your hair, you don't realise how cold winter is on your head. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, when I started losing my hair, I started getting into hats, basically, and the beanie hat I've always thought suited me a bit more than caps did. And yeah, I think I look quite. I think I rock the beanie. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Do I care? Not really, but yeah, that's probably where it started from. When I started losing my hair, basically. So yeah, it was just, do you know what I mean, keep my head warm, and now it's become more of a style thing, I suppose. Question number 2. Do you ever worry about DJ Wildchild claiming your catchphrase? No. Because he died in like 1995. So that would be some fate. Coming back from the dead just to claim copyright. So no, not really. And his last question is, if you could pick an alternate screen name, what would it be? To be honest with you, I quite like my screen name. I like Shockz. It's kind of grown into a thing. It's a name that I've used like since the late 90s. So if I was going to change my name, I'd probably just drop the 16 from the end of it. So yeah, I'd just be Shockz, basically. So, there we go, people. That was all the questions for the 700 subscriber Q&A. That's right, 3 parts. It's been a long ride, but we did get there in the end. So yeah, that's it. Thanks if you've watched every single part. Maybe you've just watched the part that you was in. Maybe you've watched no parts. Maybe you're not even watching this now. Maybe I'm just talking to me fucking self. But whatever. Thank you anyway. Of course, thank you to all the people that have subscribed that got me to 700. And of course, people that's subscribed on top of that now to get me past 800. So that's really fantastic. Thank you so much. I do appreciate all my subscribers. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, just thanks for subscribing. Thanks for asking your questions. Of course, everybody that's asked a question, thank you so much for taking part. If I did miss a question, I think I managed to get everybody's questions in there that asked one. But if you did ask a question, you can remember asking a question, but it didn't appear in any of the videos, let me know what it was, please, because I will add it to another video somewhere down the line or something like that. So yeah, I won't leave you out. I didn't intentionally mean to do it if I have, but I think I've got everybody in. Anyway, that's it. Enough of the Q&As. Will I ever do another one in the future? I don't know. We'll see, won't we? You never know what's down the line. But for now, that's the end of the Q&As. Like I said, thanks for watching them if you have done, and thanks for asking your questions. Thanks for subscribing. I'm just repeating myself now, so I'm gonna go. Tatty bye. Bye bye.